bring to order this meeting of the Woodstock Village Board of Trustees on March 10th, 2026 at 6:30. The first item on the agenda is additions and deletions to the posted agenda. Are there additions or deletions?
I have one. We can delete the police camera contract. Okay. We're actively getting new quotes from different vendors, so we'll have an update hopefully next meeting.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Trustees, do you have any more additions or deletions?
No.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is citizens' comments. Each person gets 3 minutes. Are there any citizen comments in the room? Okay, come on up and give us your name and where you live, please.
Hit the red button.
Yeah.
I'm Al Alessi, Pomfret Road, Woodstock. I'm representing the resistors that meet at Trubu Park every day, and so we're not asking for anything. We wanted to share that we're very aware of on the patch that touches the sidewalk. We've kind of trampled on that in the wet. So it's a muddy stew about 24 to 30 something inches in from the sidewalk. So we wanted you all to know that we'd like to help repair it. So however you'd want to work with that, let the Department of Public Works know, and maybe you don't want us to help, but we'd be happy to help and clean up the park, and whatever ideas help reseed and regrass that buffer to the sidewalk. So just so that you know, and in part B is that No Kings 3 is the 28th of March, which I don't know what the grass is going to be like or the soil is going to be like by then. If we have more days like today, it probably won't be a problem. But I just wanted to bring that up, and so that you're aware of the date. And again, if there's anything that you recommend or would like to see us do, we've discussed certain things like having people on the sidewalks more if it's a wet, gooey, muddy mess. But that would be things that you'd have to agree to and think that was a good idea as well. So and you can come down to Trubu 12 to 1 any day and to discuss it. And but just wanted we're thinking about it, and we don't want to mess. We love the park, so we're trying to take care of it. That's all. Okay.
Are there any other public comments in the room before we move to Zoom? Okay, are there any public comments on Zoom, Eric?
I'm not seeing any right now.
Okay. Well, if there's no more public comments, we will move on to reports. First is the manager's report. Eric?
Yeah, so a few things. One, at 5 o'clock this evening, the select board met. They approved one bid to go forward with an environmental assessment for the Elm Street pipe repair project. That assessment is a requirement of the NBRC grant they got. So in order to get the $900,000, we have to do an assessment first. The assessment will start working as soon as possible, and we're still hopeful to have the pipe under the bridge by foliage this year. But we are on a tight deadline, so it depends on how quickly we can move and what the assessment shows up. At the same meeting, they also move forward 3 other vendors for us to negotiate with on the new well and the 1B project, which is the pipe replacement from Cox District down to the bridge by the rec center. So we'll negotiate with those 3 vendors for the best price, best timeline, with the hope of construction starting next spring. So that's an update on the water system as it currently stands. Speaking of water, we are on the lookout for any potential flooding happening with the ice jams melting. So far, so good from what we're hearing from our staff and from Two Rivers, but we'll keep our eye out open over the next 24 hours. I think the alert was for Thursday at 2 p.m. So it'll be visual until then. If anything happens, we'll get in touch with the public as soon as possible. Where else are we? So just a reminder, we'll talk about it later, but village meeting is this coming Tuesday, at 7 PM, right at 7 PM or 7:30? 7:30. Right after the election from 7 AM to 7 PM at Town Hall. And then the reorg meeting will follow that, right after that. I am going to try to schedule 1 and 2 public forums between now and then to kind of get out in the public if people have questions on the budget, to be out there. So look for that coming hopefully the next day or two. Probably just Montverde and Dreamscape, so we say on the village side. Lastly, the town held a very successful town meeting, and votes last week. So in terms of the budget at town meeting, everything passed overwhelmingly. And then on this past Tuesday, the wastewater renovation plan passed 809 to 208. So overwhelming support for the new wastewater plant. So we'll be working on that going forward with Hoyle Tanner.
I just have one question for you as whoever you all chose to do the assessment of the Elm Street Bridge.
Yes.
Are you also going to have someone at the same time take a look at some of the wooden panels? Because there's a lot that are rotting.
Yes, so this is the environmental assessment that is only to see, because we're gonna go over the river, that make sure there's gonna be no environmental impact by putting the pipe on the bridge. What we're looking at is when we actually go for bid for the project itself is to include repairs to the bridge as well.
Okay. Is there any plan to at least cone off? Like there are some that are like that big,
We'll look into it and see what we do, yeah.
like a dog's foot could go through it, which is of course my concern.
Your dog does a big feet.
My dog does have big, it's true. It's very sure. Trustees, do you have any other questions for Eric?
Yeah.
Eric, how many people?
Oh, wait, hit the button. I'm sorry.
Eric, how many people do you think at the town meeting this year?
Jeffrey and I quickly disagreed. I mean, I think, I think doing a quick count, I'd say maybe between 120 and 150. Jeff, do you think that's about right?
Yeah, I thought more like 175.
Okay. I'll go with that.
I mean, I counted.
Yeah.
That's good.
And if you want.
Do you have a question directly related to something that is in the manager's report?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I ask?
Yeah, we'll come up
Oh,
here.
sorry. So we're having the
Could you,
Susie Stoll's Woodstock. We're having
Press the
Press
button.
the button.
Susie Stoll's Woodstock. We're having a village meeting next week. Only village residents can talk at this meeting. There's no, excellent, thank you.
We want to mention at this meeting that we're going to do a little get together beforehand.
We're talking, that's on the agenda.
Didn't know where it was. Okay.
Okay, next item is financial report. Eric?
So two things to show, as you can see, I'll make it a little bigger.
Yes, please.
You know, I'll go with the financial reports in a second. But I think the more important is what we try to do internally is projections for the year. So we try to do our best to calculate what we think remaining salaries will be from now until the end of the fiscal year. And then some expenses we know are gonna occur as well. Try to get us to a sense of where we think we have money for the rest of the fiscal year. So right now we're projecting somewhere between a $90,000 balance. That's not what the surplus would be. That's just where we know, we take out what we know we're going to spend, and then we don't know what we're going to spend for the next 4 months, but that's kind of just a sense of where we're going to be at. If you look at the financial reports, we're about 70% of the way through our expenses, which is about 70% of the way through the year right now. So we're in a pretty good spot. Things to highlight in the financial report. One thing I want you to look at, if you look at overall police revenue,
Give me the number.
yeah, it's under 2406, page 1. I'll stop sharing my screen. So it's a different
Okay.
software now. You're at 512,000 with a estimated projected revenue of 721. Basically, the difference in that is the rest of the town contract for police, which will obviously shipped over as long as they keep contracting through June 30th. So all intents and purposes, as of right now, you've hit your goal for police revenue. So you'll go above that as we go forward. I also want to point out moving violations still low. Last month we were at 1,300. This month we're at 3,100. So we are seeing a tick up. Chief Chris O'Keefe will speak in a minute. But I called them twice last Friday. Both times they were doing a moving vehicle stop. So they are upping their stops. So he'll talk a little more about that when he's on. Some of the things I want to highlight.
You're skipping over East End.
I thought we could bring, I didn't want to publicly, we will talk about, I mean, I'm happy to answer the question. I just don't want to bring it up myself.
Do you want to just go over everything and then we'll do specific questions?
One thing to point out on under 25034 412, which is the credit card meter charges, you'll see a budget of $13,000, but actual of $34,470. This is just my monthly reminder that that is because we're now tracking the money we pay the credit card company for the tickets. That's why it's higher. We'll see higher revenue because of that offset. And then just on the capital reserve spending, Jeffrey caught this earlier. There's $2,825 for trees. Sorry, 25099,955. It's the last page.
Yes.
That is going to be moved to the operational budget, all the way over to. It's under Euroline. Under 25011,613, you have $10,000 budgeted for trees, so that money will be moved over there until we can keep our capital reserves for emergencies. With that, happy to answer any questions the trustees have on the report.
So there was one involving. Oops. There was one involving payment for East End Park.
Yes. So we found out, thanks to Jeffrey, that Pentangle has not paid for music on the river from last year. So we sent him invoice yesterday to request those funds.
How much was that invoice?
1,200.
How much?
1,200.
That's what you charge them.
Okay.
Each year you give them a discount. For lots you give them a discount on the fee fees.
So 1,200, not 12,000.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, trustees, do you have any other questions or concerns about the financial report?
No.
Moving on. Let's move over to the police report. Chris O'Keefe, I see you on the screen. Go ahead, please.
Hi, good evening. So some things to highlight are increased efforts in motor vehicle enforcement and high visibility campaigns. We've been doing a lot of speed and cell phone enforcement, stop signs, mostly ordinances within the village, but specifically speed and cell phones. Anyone that's typically speeding through, we try to keep someone across from public safety building, and then also central in the village and look for speeders in those areas. The ticket writing has gone up quite a bit. Another item this week, today and tomorrow, Corporal Murphy has been attending a Women in Police Leadership Academy. So that's 2 days. So we're looking forward to having her come back and sharing what she learned from that. Officer Ingraham is settling in nicely and taking on some new roles in the department, which is good. Also, the parking enforcement job, I plan on posting that tomorrow. If anyone has anyone that they think would be interested in that, please send them our way. And I spoke to 2 different groups today in regards to the camera contract, and we got that overall contract price to go down significantly. It was originally at around $111,000. Now we've got it down to about 88 or 89. I did apply for a grant for small rural police departments. They did accept it. We won't know if it's going to be approved or not for probably at least maybe 3 more weeks. That is a match. If that is approved, that'll be for $50,000. Other than that, that's all I've got.
Did you hear about No Kings 3 on March 28th?
Yes, we're going to try to have an additional officer there that day.
Yeah. Thank you.
But typically that I don't know if I can't see if Al's still in the room or not, but him and I speak regularly beforehand. Anytime there's any type of public demonstration, they've been averaging around 100 people or so on those days.
Thanks for all your grant writing, Chris. Whoops, can't hear you. Yeah. Hi, thanks for all the grant writing, Chris. You've gotten a couple this year, right?
Pardon?
Gotten 2 so far this year, right?
I'm sorry, there seems to be, let me turn up my volume here. I'm sorry, could you repeat that one more time?
This is the second grant you've gotten this year or have applied for, correct?
Yes, correct.
And you got the other one for the...
Yes, that was for $15,000. That is already, we have possession of that. That was accepted.
Well, thank you.
So, Chris, I'm glad to hear that the enforcement's been increased. We've been asking for that, and thank you for responding. The other thing is, I know you're waiting for the weather in order to weigh overweight trucks. And at some point soon, not in the far future, you're going to increase that. And I think the public needs to be aware, because some members of the public don't understand that in terms of income from trucks and truck violations, if you go back 10 years ago, there needed to be a permit to have trucks coming from Hartford to Rutland. And we were the only place in Vermont requiring that permit. And that produced a fair amount of income that no longer exists. And so that's one of the reasons why that income number has dropped off. The state took it away. We do not have the ability to stop trucks to see if they have that permit or they're over length. Anyway, just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I worked as a DOT inspector when that happened, so we took part in those overlength details too. And I forget, I think it was probably about a half a dozen years ago now, probably before COVID, when Woodstock lost that the ruling. So I think people are under the impression still that we have that. The reality is we don't. But I always tell everyone that a truck is just a big car, and there's plenty of other reasons for motor vehicle enforcement. It doesn't just have to be for over length.
Yeah. Thank you.
Chris, can you give us an update on what you're planning to do this summer with trucks? You have some plans.
Yes, we do. We have the scales that are certified, and we acquired an e-bike too that is fully equipped with light sirens. So the plan is to have more high visibility enforcement and capture any speeding or trucks. And also, there's other violations too that are US DOT violations too, and we can partner with our friends over at Vermont DMV too, and do joint details with them and in addressing some enforcement action.
Thank you.
Chris, I've just got one thing. I've noticed, and I think part of it is the snow, and now people are starting to get some work done. River Street has had a ton of illegal parking over the past week in spots that there might not necessarily be a sign, but it's pretty obvious that it's not safe. And so it's sort of it's a game of Frogger right now as you're driving one way or the other. There's a lot of times where it's down to one lane. So if you guys can keep an eye on that and just remind people that not necessarily even give tickets, but just like, hey, you can't do that. Because it is making it dangerous. And then with the snow and the mud, people walking dogs are walking out into the street. So then you've got people in the street and then weird car situations. So if you guys could just drive past that occasionally, that would be helpful.
Is there an end of the street that's worse than the other, or is it just kind of the whole length?
I mean, I obviously go by the North Street end quite a bit, and there's been a lot of like tree work and those sorts of things. And then especially there's a lot of water near the cemetery. And so those areas people tend to walk into the street to avoid the water.
Okay. I will let the troops know.
Thanks. Anybody else have anything for Chris? Okay. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to move on to votes. Do you want to take the first vote?
First one?
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh.
There's some paperwork.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh.
Hello, my name is Seton McElroy, and I'm the co-founder and co-chair of Pride of Woodstock. I'm here to ask for an amendment for our current use of the green application or permit that we have. Right now, we have the use of the green until 3 o'clock on the 6th because that's when our craft fair ends. But we have been working with DJs, and as you know, we're going to have a large tent on the green for dancing, and we would like to extend our time until 6 o'clock so that we can do our afternoon tea dance on the green.
On Sunday?
It's on Saturday. No, Sunday's the half marathon. We'll be out of the way by then. Yes, so our current permit, I believe, goes from 8 to 3, and this would be to extend it until 6 o'clock, and then obviously cleaning up after that.
There's a question. Yes, Wendy. Wendy.
Inspector, I'm just curious, will you have a dance floor or are they gonna be dancing on the grass?
Thank you for that question. They will be dancing on the grass, which is what we've had in the past when we had music by the river. We've done that in the past. There will be a tent, and we believe the DJ Bougie will be on an elevated stage.
Okay, so you're dancing on the grass, but it's not at the east end. This is on the village green.
Sorry.
So depending on how crazy it is or the weather, there could be damage from that.
If the weather is too bad, I mean, our hope is to be able to hold it, our hope is to be able to hold it outside no matter the weather, because we will have the tent set up the day before. So that should keep the grass clear. But if there are any major concerns, we do have the little theater reserved just in case there's wind or there's thunder. Or if there's anything unsafe, we would certainly move that.
Trustees, any other questions?
No.
Another question from Wendy.
It's not a question, but maybe a request. So as someone who cares about the green and the health of the grass, I wonder if you would consider having a dance floor and if we could find one that could be donated or something like that, or some remediation if there is damage to the green. And maybe that doesn't matter so much now, but later, as we rehabilitate the green, it's going to be something that we're going to want to really work on.
Thank you.
That's certainly something we can look into. I would also be concerned about what damage that would also do to the grass when you put something down. I would think that it would be, I'm happy to get input from people, but certainly in the past, we've had things like Bookstock with tables and chairs and people walking around, and we have Market on the Green with tables and chairs and people walking around. I don't see that this is any different, but if the trustees have a concern about that, we can look into it. But then that would be having to come back and asking for an additional permit. And I'd also be interested to know what Public Works thinks about putting something down. It would probably sit there for 2 or 3 days. So that might be a concern as well.
Yeah, my main concern would be the weather impact, making it dancing by quite a few people on grass, making that grass go away. But that's my only concern is that kind of a situation. Any other comments?
No.
All right. Well, I'd make a motion to accept your extension of your permit from 3 to 6 for the purpose that you stated. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, it's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you, trustees. Next item on the agenda is the Garden Club use of the Gore banner. Do we have somebody from the Garden Club? Come on up, please.
Lois Dinahan. I live in Barnard, but I am president of the Woodstock Garden Club, and I'm running the plant fair this year. So if we have paid the fee, and I've spoken to Kitty, I don't know what more you might need to know, but
the additional issue is that the banners were damaged last year when we did the or discarded, which I just learned a week or so ago. So evidently we need to have permission from someone to replace them as to torn banners.
Okay, are you aware of that? Okay. That's good.
Good. I don't know from anything specific. Have cost information similar to statements.
So this looks like this is what you normally do every year. You have Country Kitchen selling breakfast and lunch items, which is just y'all, and it's a
Yes.
cute name. I love. I just had one question that you said, you might have a hot dog machine. Is the library letting you plug that in, or is that a
Yes.
generator?
It's something we posted years ago.
Okay.
Run on an extension program from Walker. So that is.
You're not discussing the banners. You're discussing the.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was looking at both. My apologies.
We're going to vote on the banner?
Yes, we can vote on
You
the
brought it up
banner.
first?
Yes.
Fine, just not mention it. That's where we were.
Missinitis, leave her alone.
I know. Okay, so the banner, are there any questions on the banner, trustees?
no.
Okay, I would make a motion to approve the banner. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now, hot dogs. So you just run an extension for it then?
Yes, I believe we saw that.
Okay.
From past years. Which we can provide the libraries aware of turning the power on at 7:30 so we can off it.
Okay.
They're also with that too.
And Kitty told you that you need an updated COI? Okay,
We already have it, so.
yeah, the one that we have. I'm so sorry. The one that we have on file expires May 24th, 2025.
Do you want, I have.
If you have it, you can give it to Eric, and if you don't, you can send it to Kitty. Look good? You know where you're looking?
Yep, we're good.
Okay. Hey, trustees, do you have any questions about the plant sale?
No.
Okay. In that case, I'll make a motion to approve the use of the GOR permit for the plant sale. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And it's Lois, it's a lovely event.
Yeah.
Everyone looks forward to it. Thank you. Thank you for doing that.
Okay, next up, we've got the fireworks committee. Is there someone? Oh, come on up. Thank you, Eric. Okay, so the fireworks committee. Okay.
Hi, Tara Lane, South Woodstock.
Before she starts, could you just tell us all the great job the committee has done with raising money and everything else before you get into the permits?
It's really incredible what the committee has done. They have raised, I think we're roughly around $25,000 that we've raised just from the community. It's been incredible. It's incredible the people that have come forth just out of keeping this alive for our community. So it's really lovely. There's some great ideas, some great volunteers. Yeah, I think it's going to be great. So we have a whole weekend of events. Our goal long term is that we are able to have fireworks on the 4th of July. That might take us a couple of years just as far as planning goes, but we have a really good support team and it's coming together. And Eric has been amazing. He attends the meetings. His staff has been incredible, very helpful. So it's coming together.
So the first one permit we have in front of us is the use of the green. So
Yes.
tell us what you want to do on the green.
So we want to start off the day on the 4th with a bike parade. The children will start off at the Woodstock Elementary School. They'll be able to decorate their bikes, do a lap around the green. Firsthand, I'm skipping a beat. They'll start at the east end. There will be a 5K. And then we'll go to the green. Then we have a kids market, an adults market from 12 to 2 for the children, 12 to 4 for adults. And then we'll have a community dinner from 4 to 7. So yeah.
Where does the bike ride start?
At the Woodstock Elementary School.
Oh, I just heard it
So it
wrong.
would be something very similar that they do with.
Yeah, Halloween, yeah.
Could you give us a little more detail on kids market? And you said there's an adult market?
So we're gonna tie through the chamber for this. Be the same. So what we have market on the green on Wednesdays, it will be that.
I'm sorry.
same thing.
Your button.
The same thing?
It'll be the same.
80% food?
People can apply. So they'll apply to have a craft, pottery, arts, whatever it might be.
Market on the green is 80% food.
No, it'll be arts, crafts. Sorry. So we'll have a food truck, and I believe that the food truck will be Pizza Chef. Is what we've talked to them about. They've been willing to volunteer their time. There's someone that has volunteered to have music, not volunteered, but a small fee. So, and the music will occur right before the meal. It'll be around that time.
When you say meal, what do you mean?
So dinner on the green. So it'll be food trucks. It'll be Pizza Chef and potentially maybe yes, thank you.
So that doesn't happen until later.
4 o'clock, 4 to 7. So the bike parade is at 11 a.m. The kids market is 12 to 2. adult 12 to 4, and the community dinner 4 to 7,
Okay, so the trucks don't set up until
later in the day. Correct.
So is there food between 12 and 4 or no?
No.
Okay, so between 12 and 4, it is just, so sorry. Between 12 and 4.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. We'll figure this out. Between 12 and 4, it's just crafts. Do you know, so you've got 10 spaces reserved for kids. How many spaces do you have reserved for not kids?
Oh, they applied, let's see. Take a look at the permit.
And you can hit your button when you're ready.
I believe for the adult permits, it was maybe up to 20.
Run by the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes. Along with volunteers. But for the market, it would be go to the chamber.
And the PA system you have is for whoever your live musician is?
Yes.
Okay. And so everyone will have a tent. So presumably that could be up to 30 tents if you've got 20 adults and 10 kids.
Correct. And then we'll also have tables and chairs for the community dinner. And we're thinking roughly 10 to 20. If that's too broad, we can try to tighten that up. We're working on the measurements of the tables right now. We would set up, take down, clean up. We've got crews in place for all of that.
Will you be serving liquor at the dinner?
At the community dinner.
Okay, so you'll work out the appropriate permit? Okay, thank you.
And who's doing the liquor?
It's going to do, the pizza truck is going to do beer.
And you said Pizza Chef is a truck, but is it a truck or are they setting up on the green?
They have a food truck.
Okay, because one thing to remember with alcohol is that it has to be within a contained area, which you can do on the green. But if there is a truck and maybe this is something that David Green can weigh in on, but if there's a truck and so I'm standing in the road technically with alcohol and then I'm handing it over, I don't know if that's too technical, but David Green is our health person, and so maybe he can weigh in on the appropriate way to do that, or maybe they need to have it completely within the confines of the green.
Good point. I'll talk to David Green about that, but that's something we might want to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then both of them have the ability to do the karting and all of that sort of stuff. Okay, and you know that you need to put signs at all the entrances and exits that say.
Correct.
So that's a very busy start of a very busy time of year in Woodstock for the business community. If these trucks are coming in, you can't hone off the parking spaces all day in anticipation of them starting at 4 o'clock. Something has to be worked out where it's closer to the time they want to use it.
Okay, we can accommodate to that. We can plan for that.
What did we do with the White Cottage truck?
That
He pays.
he pays for his space, and that's,
Well, then they can pay for the space too.
well,
Why don't they just pay for the space all day?
no, but he's there within certain hours.
Well, they would be there within certain hours.
The same team, people.
I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was. Oh. Oh. I don't-
Yeah,
Well, if it's not necessary to have it all day and starting that late versus lunchtime for the White Cottage truck, I'm just saying, get the spaces lit in the second half of the day.
if Chris can figure that out,
Yeah, they can figure that out.
because do you know if they're gonna have to plug in or if they'll be using generators?
They'll be using generators. And if there's a fee associated with it, we would be happy to pay. I would be happy to pay for it.
I just make
There's no fee after 4 o'clock.
I would just be concerned that 2 o'clock rolls around and there's people that have decided to park there for 4 hours. And then there's not enough space to get in a double, if they need 2 parking spaces.
And if it's the 4th, that's a free parking
And if
day.
it's,
Oh, it is a free parking day.
The 4th is a free parking day.
So then nobody has to pay for
oh,
it,
it is?
Yes.
Oh,
which means that people are gonna be more likely to sit there. I would be concerned that they're not gonna get their spots.
I know that John has a spot all set up already, so we know he's all set. John, all set.
Would it be possible if we commit to securing parking spots that we would be able to pay for the?
If nobody else is paying, I don't think you need to pay.
No, but I think,
I didn't think of it as a free day.
if you work with Chris O'Keefe about how to make sure that you've got those spots. Because he doesn't work that out with John. Chris. Are there any other questions or comments?
No.
On this? Frank?
None.
Okay.
I think it sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just gonna vote on the use of the green one. So I make a motion to approve the use of the green for the 4th of July, obviously, all day. Is there a second? All in favor, say aye.
Bye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Let's move on to your next permit. Oh, the one thing, I'm so sorry. Do you know that you need to have an updated COI? This one expires on July 1st. And you can give that to Katie. So the next is the banner for 4th of July going up on June 28th and coming down on the 5th. Is that a Monday to Monday? So we put banners up on Mondays, which would actually be June 29th. You want to change it to the 29th through the, whatever that following day is, the 6th?
Yes, that's fine.
Trustees, do you have any questions about this?
No.
I'm good with it. I would recommend double-sided and making sure that you remember as people drive by, the more words, the less they're going to see. So big pictures.
Fireworks. Yeah.
Should be simple, right? I would make a motion to approve the use of the banner for the 4th of July weekend. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Bye.
Right.
Motion carried. And then the third application here is for a permit. This is for the kids bike parade starting at 10:30, ending at 11. And you said this starts at West? Okay. And it goes elementary school right at the end.
Yes. Yes, right at the end. They'll go around the green, end up on the green.
How many kids are you anticipating?
You're anticipating 100.
Trustees, do you have any questions about this?
No.
Okay.
No. COI, usually updated.
Yeah, the COI needs to be updated. And that again can go to Kitty. Okay. In that case, I make a motion to approve the parade permit for 4th of July Kids Bike Parade. Is there a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, next item on the agenda is the Woodstock Union Middle High School banners. Tom?
Yep. I do want to make an amendment to the permit. Julie Dupont had put it in for 3 weeks. We only wanted a week. They would go up, I think, is it the 5th of June and come down June 12th in the morning.
What was the day you wanted it to come down?
On the 12th, because we bring them over to the high school for the graduation ceremony. So, I'd probably come over like 9, 10 in the morning and pick them up.
Because it's not like a regular banner. Yeah, that's
No,
fine.
Yeah. So I don't know. We've done this for about 5 years. We get they're poster size, about 2 feet by 3 feet, maybe. I don't even think they're that big. They go up on a little H wire that stand about 3 feet off the ground, and they go around the green. It has a picture of each graduate, and just the Woodstock Union High School class of 2026.
Okay. June 5th to June 12th. Trustees, do you have any questions or comments about this?
Nope.
Always
Okay.
look forward to it.
Frank? Okay, I would make a motion to approve this permit to put up banners around the green for the high school from June 5th through June 12th. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. And Eric, while we're talking about things going up around the green, the lights that I think the inputs up are still around the green, and I can't remember when they come down.
We talked today, we'll take them down.
Okay.
So we're on, okay.
Okay, it's just very messy right now. I don't want anybody to get electrocuted. Okay. Next item. Puppies and pooches on parade. Y'all come on up.
My name is Gary Horsman, Woodstock, Vermont. I represent the Friends of the Northern Woodlands Public Library, and the event is a request for a permit for operating on the green on August 29th. I would like time to set up, so we would start setting up around 8:30. The event will be over by 12 noon.
Any difference from the past?
Are you doing food as you've done in the past?
I think it's like a phase we use the garden clubs. We use the garden club's hot dog heater as well. So no special request. Might make a comment about how you guys handled parking last year was perfect. Maybe that's all I need to say.
What's the parking handle?
No one came and bothered anyone. So it's kind of like a gentleman's agreement that, we could pull in around the green, set up, finish the event, take down.
If you'd like to pull in along the green and pay for the spot, or if you want to go ahead of time and say that you need spots for loading and unloading, that's certainly something we can accommodate.
Yeah, and I said this last year because I don't recall how it was resolved. We remember had a pretty good debate about it last year, and you were going to examine it and get back to me if there was anything special that I need to do. No one ever got back to me, which I thought was fine. But indeed, if you need us to pay for parking for a few spots for that 4-hour time frame, we'd be happy to do so. You'll get back to me?
Pay for the spots at the time.
Yeah. So should I get back to,
If you need to reserve spots, you can do that through Chris and then, just,
I might request 5, 6, 8 spots max, I would think. And then for the 4 hours, we just pay for those 8 spots. That's
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. Can you fill Chris in on that?
You do need to update your certificate of insurance.
Yes, I know that.
Right?
Trustees, do you have any other questions?
No.
Okay. In that case, I would make a motion to approve Puppies and Pooches on Parade for August 29th from 8:30 to 12:30. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is Pentangle for Music by the River. Who's here for Pentangle? Okay, if there's no one from Pentangle, let's table that. Can you let them know to come back next month? Next item on the agenda is Covered Bridges Half Marathon, a parade permit. I think there's someone from Zoom.
Hi, yep, it's Nancy Newtley McMenemy from Weathersfield for Covered Bridges Half Marathon.
Okay, can you tell us, so it's Sunday,
Sunday, June 7th.
and what times are you asking for the roads to be shut down?
Woodstock is usually a little after 8. The race starts in Pomfret at 8:15, so I think it's maybe 8:30-ish from Route 12 down River Road, Mountain Ave, over the bridge, up Elm Street, and then down Old River Road. But from what I've heard in years past, Woodstock's usually back to normal by 9:30, 10 o'clock.
So then
And then
it's safe to, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, then everything shifts to Hartford, Queechee, so you guys are in the clear.
You're asking for about 8:30 to 10?
Yeah, I'd say that.
Okay, and you've started talking to the Woodstock police about shutting down the roads and safety?
I haven't yet with Chris. I'm working more right now trying to find out if Claude has coverage with the Windsor County Sheriffs and also with Chief Kelly up at Hartford, just to make sure that we've got that. They're kind of like the bulk of the coverage. And Chris, I think, is usually only maybe 5 or 6 officers. So I'll start talking to him once I kind of get those two sort of settled. They're both strapped for personnel, so we may have to go to Wyndham County Sheriffs, or hopefully not any further than that. But I will definitely talk with Chris. We usually have 2 meetings, in usually the second week of May and then the week before the event, just to make sure all the police and fire and safety are all on board.
Okay, and will you be having anything else on the green or anything else going on? Last year, I thought there was talk about something else happening, like a food truck or something, but you don't have that in your plans?
That had nothing to do with us. That was a private person that wanted to kind of go. We don't use the green at all. We basically have, there's a band at the Triangle, and the runners just come down and go around, and Route 4 stays open the entire time. We never close Route 4. We take the parking spaces along the Route 4 kind of corridor that goes up to Elm Street, and we just cone those off where the people usually park. So we cone those off in the morning, and that's where the runners run. So like I said, Route 4 doesn't shut down. And we try to be as little disruption for the Route 4 people as possible. And we put signs up. I start putting signs up usually after the Memorial Day parade. People pull their signs. I go around and put our signs up, letting people know that the race is happening the next weekend.
Trustees, do you have any questions? Sorry. Okay, and your COI looks good. I would make a motion to approve Covered Bridge Half Marathon parade permit on June 7th, 2026 from 8:30 to 10. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Please, fingers crossed, no rain. We got 4 inches last year, the day before, so we don't want that to happen again.
The day before, some of us were managing a high heel race, so I will be right along with you on that.
That was brutal. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Next is a Woodstock community event in September at East End Park. Is there someone to speak about that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm representing the East End Park. My name's Alita Wilson. And before I get started, I would just like to say to the trustees, there have been so many amazing community events presenting themselves to the benefit of our community. And I think it would behoove you to acknowledge their efforts, what they do for us before you dig into the minutia. It makes us feel like less of a community. Seton, you know this for Pride. I can't run anymore, but the fact that Nancy has to come in every year, I've run that race 12 times. So note to you all, if you want a community spirit, acknowledge what these volunteers are doing for the community. I'm actually here on behalf of the community celebration. It's September 10th. We would like a waiver on the payment. It's same permit as last year. The only thing we'd like to add is a banner the week before. So if I have to do a separate thing for the trustees, I will do that. But yeah, it's the community celebration at East End Park. It starts at 1, ends at 5.
So Alita, we love this celebration. It was lovely last year. The application says that the date of the event is September 13th. You just said September 10th.
No, I said September 13th.
Well, no, you didn't,
Sunday.
but that's okay. That's all right. If it's September 13th, that's what we have on our paper.
Good.
Okay. And the hours of the event, again, what did you say?
It's 1 to 5. Setup will be at 10. The bands will come in. So we'll be at the park from 10 to 5.
Okay, 10 to 5, we'll change it because we have 10 to 6. Sorry if that's minutia, just want to
Oh,
get it.
well, no, 10 to 6 would be strike. So that's probably right.
Oh, okay, we'll leave it at 10 to 6. Great.
So go ahead, Alita.
Well, last year I understood that the fee was waived. The East End volunteers would like to know if it could be waived again. If not, then we will pay for it.
I believe the fee was waived.
Why did we waive it last year?
It was the first time.
Because it was because it was a community-wide event that we thought was in the best interests of the community to waive the fees for that community celebration that everyone is invited to.
It was also their first year, which was another reason. I don't think it was just that it was a community event. They didn't have any money for poor. That doesn't mean that we have to do that this year.
We don't have to, but I think this is one of the only events that I would say we should.
Well, and the community trust, it's about a $4,000 event that's free. So to the degree you can alleviate some costs, that would be great.
And I say this as somebody who has a week left, but I would caution waiving fees without having specific criteria. Lots of things, as you've pointed out, there are lots of great community events that happen, and we're not waiving those fees. People have different interests, and that's fine. So I would be concerned about that, especially the upkeep for East End is considerable. And just the precedent of saying one group doesn't have to pay while every other group has to pay, I'm not comfortable with that.
You were last year.
I agree.
I don't think I was last year, but I probably got out.
I agree that everyone should pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay, another question. We'd like to, and this is an amendment to the permit. We'd like to have a banner the week before. Do I have to do that separately?
Yes, you need to do that because Kitty holds the master calendar, and so we need to make sure that it's available to begin with.
Okay.
So there's the permit application. Kitty can send that to you, or it's available on the website.
Perfect.
Dean, if you have a second.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
That was Kitty.
It's Kitty. I didn't mean to interrupt. The week, if the event is on the 12th of September, from the 6th to the 13th is already taken by Art Fest by the Chamber of Commerce, but they may have the week before. But I would just have Alita come in and she can look at my calendar and see what dates work best for her.
Thank you, Kitty.
Yep.
So one thing we need to discuss is what fee you want to charge, because we give Pentangle a break for the use of the East End Park. And I don't know if the rest of you want to do a break for this organization. I would suggest we do.
It's the community.
Alita, a lot of things are the community. It's okay. How many people do you think you're going to have?
Well, we had over 300 last year.
Okay, so a Woodstock resident or nonprofit charitable organization from 100 to 175 is $300.
It's 300 people.
Yeah, well, it says that you can only have a maximum of 175 people at East End Park. So do we want to make? So should we ask?
There have been 400 people at Music by the River. So just to note. I don't care. I just have to report back.
Well, I think if the maximum that we have to function fee for a nonprofit is $300, then that makes sense to just go with that if they're going to have 300 people. And then we should also make a note for someone else to update these guidelines.
There's also a security deposit.
Yes.
As well.
And security deposit is also $300.
Okay, so the security deposit that is refundable is $300.
It's also a food truck fee as well. I'm not sure if they have food trucks or.
There's one food truck.
But that's going to be on Ben's property.
Private property.
Okay.
Yeah, that's on Ben's.
It will be on Ben's property.
Yeah.
So $700 then, 300 for.
Is there not an Kitty, was the application fee paid? She usually notes that if it's not.
No, nothing's been paid yet because the volunteers thought we could get a waiver. So I will need to get them. So we owe you, the trustees, 300.
Not the trustees, the village. So it's 300 for the fee, 300 for the deposit, security deposit, which is refundable. And then what's the application fee?
$100.
Application fee is 100.
Got it.
Okay. So that's 700 with 300 of it is refundable. And Kitty can take care of all of that. Trustees, do you have any other questions or concerns about this application?
No.
Okay, and hold on, let me look at this.
They're relevant on trash, all that stuff, right?
Presumably, I mean, that's part of the rules. We also don't have a COI.
It will come. It comes from the community trust.
Okay.
One thing, and I know it has nothing to do with the group specifically, but people go down a private driveway to use a shortcut onto, so we just want to make sure that the pathway there is closed. What?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I just make sure that, everything is set up so there's no way for anybody to do a cut through there.
Yep, got it.
Okay.
What private driveway?
It's Michelle's.
Oh, okay, got it.
Well, they cut through. So
Down Butch
Okay.
Sutherland's? No, they don't. No. Anyway,
Okay.
okay.
Okay, are there any other questions about this? Lisa, you're good?
I'm good.
Brenda?
Yep.
Okay. Can I make a motion to approve, the application to use East End Park on September 13th from 10 to 6? And that it needs an updated COI. Is there a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next item is Chamber of Commerce Art Fest banner permit request and use of green permit.
Jim Kelly, Chamber of Commerce.
Button there, Jim.
I think it's only. Stock Art Fest, same as last year, September 12th to the 13th. Set up the day before. Local vendors, art, music. Looking forward to it. As Kitty mentioned earlier, we did want a banner from the 6th to the 13th or 7th to the 14th, presumably.
Do that one next.
Gotcha.
How many vendors you plan on
I
having?
believe last year was around 20. I was kind of hoping that Lauren would be here as well to speak about what was, because I wasn't here for it last year, but he knows more about it and the details aren't completely finalized, but pretty much it'll just mimic what was done last year.
And do you have food?
Yes, I believe there are some food vendors.
Okay.
Yep.
Does the 20 vendors include the food?
Yes.
Okay. Do you anticipate the vendors, do they leave stuff out over the night or they take it back with them? And
I
press the button.
believe most of the vendors will leave their, not food, obviously, but there won't be food left out, but their, their tents, I'm sure will probably still be there overnight. And I do know that our COI needs to be updated as well.
Do you need to work with the police to have space set up for setup and breakdown?
Friday, I think it's usually in the late afternoon.
Okay.
I can get back to you about more specific as we get closer.
To make sure you follow up with Chris on that.
We will. We'll work with police.
Trustees, do you have any questions about the Art Fest application?
No, it's like same as in the past.
Okay. In that case, I would make a motion to approve the Art Fest application use of the green on September 12th and 13th was set up on Friday pending a COI. Is there a second? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. And then we'll, hold on, hold your horses, banner. And the banner is for up on the 4th and down on the 13th. Be up on the 7th and down on the 14th.
That'd be great. Yep.
Trustees, any questions about the banner?
No.
Okay, and again, double-sided is better. Big words or big pictures, big words. Then I would make a motion to approve the banner for Art Fest from September 7th to September 14th. Is there a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now you make it. Thanks, Jim. Okay. Next item on the agenda is the village roads and bridges standards. Eric, I'm going to hand that over to you to explain all of the things.
All it is acknowledgement that we follow the guidelines of the state. It's done every year. I just need your signature on it. Greg Fulton, the Public Works Director, has signed off. Select Board voted for this and approved it in the last meeting. So it's just on you guys as well.
Do we comply with all the town and bridge standards?
You do?
Okay. Just want to make sure. Trustees, do you have questions about this?
No, it looks pretty straightforward.
Frank? Any questions?
Nope. Thank you.
I have a few things for you to sign, but I'll wait till the end of the meeting.
Then I would make a motion to approve the certification of compliance for town and bridge standards and network inventory for the village of Woodstock. Is there a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the Tier 1B status. Do we have someone from Two Rivers to talk about that?
No, they couldn't make it.
Oh. Do you want to skip it or?
So they presented it on at the last meeting. I think the board wanted some time to think about it. A decision has to be made by end of March. So we can, if you want to discuss it now, we can put it also on the agenda. The reorg meeting, if you want more time, I can't guarantee I can get someone from Two Rivers there as well. There was no questions from the board after the fact. So I was curious on where the board felt you stood on this topic.
I'm all for it.
I'm for it too.
Brenda?
Yes, I agree.
Frank?
I'm for it too.
So then the motion would be to approve the Tier 1B area to be created. Is that the motion?
Yes. Or that actually.
As presented by Two Rivers?
No, let me get the right wording. Motion would be for the village to request to be a Tier 1B area.
But it's this configuration, right?
Yes.
Okay. Under the configuration presented by Two Rivers?
Yes.
Okay. And I'll make a motion to request that Woodstock Village be a Tier 1B area as configured by Two Rivers Ottaquiche Regional Commission. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Okay, moving on to discussions. The first discussion is about food trucks.
Yeah, if I could just start this conversation, the chair does not mind. So last year, the board approved the food truck for White Cottage. I think his assumption was that that approval would be granted in future years before he went and spent money on the food truck. He reached out to me a few months ago asking if he had the good to go for this year. I did not give him indication one way or the other. But in the meantime, we also had someone reach out to us about a potential breakfast food truck to be parked in the village as well. I don't have as much information on them yet, but I figured we're in March already. It'll be a good time to start having a conversation if the trustees want food trucks back in the village this year.
Hey, he was a great asset to the community. He donated food. He didn't interfere with anything. He stayed down. He had his one spot. He paid the Chamber of Commerce electricity because he used their bill. So I think he's a great community member. He is great in his shop, his other place. And I don't think there's anything that needs to be changed. Does he have to apply again is my question.
Well, the next conversation as well, which is the peddler's license. So I believe last year we gave White Cottage a peddler's license to be on the green. So that will kind of go hand in hand, but I guess some of those questions is direction for my staff as well. If you are in favor of White Cottage coming back, okay, but would you entertain other food trucks in the village as well, getting permission to be here, whether it's on the green or somewhere else?
Well, we already have one other peddler. That gentleman who was I don't know how to say it, drawing pictures of people. So we did have another peddler last year in the village.
But when it comes to food, we have two. We have the one from Montvert, and we had this one at the green, and the one on the green served an important function, especially on the days it was there, and especially for lunch.
Montvert didn't get a peddler's license. They didn't need one.
No, because they were on private property, but
Yeah.
it's still a food truck in the green.
Yeah.
In the village is what I meant. It's another one. I don't think we need.
I have a concern. The peddler's license, which we're going to be talking about next, is something that obviously needs to be updated. It's definitely outdated. I think there are lots of changes that need to be made. So many changes. So many, look at all the red. I think the trustees should discuss, kind of like we do every year for foliage, about saying this is the maximum amount that we are gonna, until we get the peddler's license figured out. These are the days, the times, the volume, what have you, and sort of create some sort of a moratorium, which I think needs to be informed by conversations with the community. I don't think anything should be decided today. Definitely, I want the chamber a part of this. Definitely, I want other businesses to be a part of this conversation, because we will have more people come. Once they realize that they can do this, they will come. And so I would recommend creating some sort of a moratorium that says, until we get the peddler's license figured out, we're putting a moratorium of one truck per day, or, one during a certain time, one day, whatever. But I think that those are guidelines that we should figure out with the community and the business community before we open it up.
I don't think we should open it up.
No.
I think we have a need that this truck fulfilled, and I think we should allow this truck to be back without opening it up for more of them. We don't have to.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
My understanding is the add-on would be breakfast. Is that correct?
So what I'm saying is, right now we have White Cottage who wants to come back. We've been contacted by another food truck that is interested in doing some type of breakfast. I'm not sure what it is. I think to the chair's point is we don't have any rules or regulations on this. And, you know, what's stopping 8 more food trucks coming? And, you know, we like White Cottage as a local business, but we're not basing it off any rules or regulations. It's there's a need. But so, you know, I think the chair is kind of, if I could, I don't want to speak for them, but you want to base your decision on something that you can hold your hat on if you get push back on. So I think that's just where the conversation needs to flow.
Well, yeah, but having just one does, first of all, we don't want to limit any additional parking around the Village Green or elsewhere in the business district. So I think there's a valid need for at least one. We have one that's been successfully done, and I think we should approve that one. And we have no need to approve any others because there is no space for them or actual need necessarily. Have additional ones.
Well, the problem with that is that doesn't say that here in the peddler's license. It says that anyone can come in and get granted as long as they follow this, and this. That's what that says right here.
We have, the peddler's license has nothing to do with us giving grants for the spaces on the green.
Peddler's license, everything. We have no
it's-
authority over.
Yeah, we have no authority for peddlers.
No, we have authority over the
We don't have
parking
authority over the parking spaces.
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
We do.
We?
Yes,
I'm asking Eric.
we have authority over parking.
You have authority over the fees of the parking. The police department has authority through you, through me, through them for parking purposes. This board can grant a waiver on parking as you've done in the past. I had not reviewed the peddler license in full, but I believe the conversation we had last year was technically a food truck falls outside the peddler's license. And that's why I believe Wendy actually created a food truck ordinance that last year that she put together for us. So I do think it's more of just a recognition of, you know, what the board wants to see in the village vis-a-vis food trucks.
Again, I think this is a larger thing, and the problem with trying to piecemeal it is if we said yes today to White Cottage, who we can't because he's not here and he needs to be here if he's going to ask for something, is we say yes to him and then don't create a moratorium or don't create guidelines of some sort that we have voted on and had a community discussion on. Then this breakfast person can come and we say, no, we're full up. And he goes, well, you let him have one. And then we're all in trouble. Like it's about equity, as I think we've been trying to do, of saying and being able to set expectations and say, yes, if you come here and you want to set up a food truck, these are the rules. And if you don't fall within those rules or the regulations that this community has decided, then you can't. But if you do, then you can. So if we say, yes, you know, you can come, but no, you can't, then that's an issue. So sorry, press my button. So I would advise, again, a community conversation where we have the business community and the residents talk about what their hopes and expectations and preferences are, so that there can be, if it's a moratorium or if it's a guideline, then let's do that and then fill in there. But like, let's have the full conversation first. And that can happen, you know, next week and then in April to come up with something. I'm sure Jim would love to jump into that to coordinate all the businesses to have that conversation. But doing one-offs it's playing favorites.
So my question is, are you saying we're writing an amendment?
No, I'm saying we are much like we did we've done moratoriums in the past where we say we will or won't do something for X period of time. We can do that and certainly run that by lawyers to make sure we're doing it appropriately. But we could create a moratorium that says we are not going to allow, or we are only going to allow such and such. I mean, we've done that for the use of the green with saying we're going to allow 4 people for these days. And we do that literally every year. So we can do the same thing with food trucks until we get peddler's license or a food truck ordinance or something, but we need to say it out loud. But that first has to be a conversation with the residents and the business community before we just go making up rules.
Well, I don't have a problem with what you just said.
Oh, you just lost your. It's doing here, just fine.
Dead.
So shut the door.
I don't have a problem with what you said in terms of a specified moratorium, which allows something that we all. This is approved peddler's license. So let's do this quickly, though. This could be on the agenda for the village meeting in terms of public input.
Are you talking about the meeting, the reorg meeting after village meeting on Tuesday? Or you mean at the next trustee agenda?
Well, couldn't it be at the meeting itself next Tuesday?
That meeting's already warned legally.
So we can't add a,
It could come up, I believe.
additions and deletions to.
So you don't have additions, deletions to the village meeting because it's like the moderator runs that meeting.
Right.
There is other business, usually the last articles, like any other business come in front of the village. So that could come up at that point and people could discuss it if you wanted to. Or we could add it to the reorg meeting as an agenda item and ask people to stay. And if they have feelings about food trucks, they could stay in the meeting and talk about it then.
Either one. I just think we should get moving on this.
Yeah, I'm happy to add it to the reorg agenda. I think that's probably the best place for it. That way it's in a spot, people will see it. It'll be on our website but then we mention it at village meeting to stick around and people will.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the food truck conversation. So tell White Cottage. Stand by.
Yep.
Okay, next is conversation about the peddler's license, updating that ordinance. Who wants to start that? Did you want to start that? Lisa, I know you've been looking at it.
I've been oh, there it goes. I've been looking at the license as well as gone to the state law, the state regulations. I've looked at several other peddler license ordinances and ours is very outdated. We don't talk about going house to house with carts, which other ones do, but I think that the best thing that we can do with this is quickly rewrite it so that we can have it done as soon as possible. It's not going to be hard to write. We don't have much law to back ourselves up on, like parking. The part is we need input about we know the definition of a peddler. We know a definition of a lot of these things. So we need still input on the scope, the location, what's acceptable and not acceptable, which means that's community contribution. So I don't know the process, Eric, to do that. Or, is the best thing to hack away at it and then bring it up at the meeting in April?
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at 60 days after a successful vote before it goes into effect. So, even if you're on today, you're talking about mid-May before this come into effect. My assumption is you're probably going to need at least one meeting, if not more, to make changes. So.
I mean, the police have to go through this. You have to go through this. Vermont League of Police have to go through it. Health and safety have to go through it. So it's a process. So I just don't know the best road to go forward on this. I know Jeffrey just wants to change those words.
Well, I wanted to change the who the peddler license goes through. Now, I'm not against changing this with more study and contacting the people you just said. But I think it should come to the trustees as opposed to the police department.
Which I agree with. I'm just saying that we need to rewrite this. We shouldn't just change it, comes to the police chief. We need to rewrite the whole thing.
And as it stands, and then we would have time to rewrite it. That's my suggestion. But either way, we need to do it quickly. And putting it in our hands is a quick first move, then rewriting it would follow. But if you don't want to do that, okay, but I think that's the quickest way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to start the process with Eric.
I'll look on it with you.
Yeah, I don't, we got some good suggestions from Wendy the last time, so we have that as well. I think we have a place to start, and I see Seaton's got notes to give me. But yeah, I mean, if we can go ahead, Eric, I'm sorry.
I think my question for the board is, we did this last year. I think you can vote to, or you can instruct me to tell interim Chief O'Keefe not to issue any peddler's license going forward. And then that will give you time to not have any licenses passed out while you work on this. Again, I think like food trucks are outside of this. I have to review it again. I don't see an emergency where someone will need a peddler's license in the next few months. So that could be an opportunity to kind of cover what Jeffrey wants to do and also give you time to work on it. But
number one, love that idea. Doing a moratorium, I would definitely caution against doing anything, one, too quickly, because again, I think this is really important to get the community input and the business input. And I wouldn't want to just say cross out police chief and then move it over to the trustees, because I just think it's about it, because then you're just saying, okay, now we're in charge and we get to make up rules until we make up rules. And I think that that's because so much in here just doesn't apply. And I think that the peddler's license needs to be renamed and probably could include food trucks. And it could just be like non-brick and mortar, or anything on, any kind of sale on village property or town property, because that would include roads and parking spaces. Like, I think this shouldn't just be narrow. I think we should make this as broad as possible so that people know what to expect. Because we do constantly have like weird things coming up. Like somebody last year wanted to set up like a breakfast truck during the half marathon. We were like, what? There's not even a thing to deal with that. And no.
They did without telling anyone.
What?
Nothing.
Okay. So I think it should be so I like the idea of a moratorium on any peddler's license. And then whenever the meeting is, to start having that conversation. And I think it needs to be pretty broad.
I mean, we can. And have it available for people to see. We don't have to, in a moratorium.
Yeah, but I would also caution writing things down and getting too attached, because I think we did learn this with the parking, is that there were things that we didn't know that and of course people need to show up to meetings, obviously, but going out to people, because we kept changing things in the parking ordinance because we're like, oh, we forgot about this. Oh, we forgot about that. And like, it all worked out well, but what can we do ahead of time, get it right the first time and not have to go through like 5 meetings of revisions and then have somebody say, oh, you forgot about this. And then we have to add amendments. So I think, I'm pretty sure that if we say we're going to talk about food trucks and peddlers licenses, people are going to show up, and directly engaging Jim to talk to the chamber will be helpful.
Yeah, but we can also just have a outline or something to give to people to start with, not just say, oh, if we don't have anyways, we can talk about that later.
I think to the chair's point, and I'm not just agreeing with her because it's her last meeting or anything, but I don't think it's a great idea if the next meeting we have, just get feedback, ask people to come and say, we're updating this ordinance. come speak your mind, and we take notes, and we hear what the people have to say, and then we base some of the changes off, just thought.
I want to clarify one thing. You said that you don't think the food trucks fall under the peddler's license. So, that's current.
Yeah, I want to be careful because I haven't gone through it, but I remember when we had this issue last year, I believe we came to the conclusion that the food trucks fell outside of the peddler's license.
Because it's not on village property, it's on town property.
Part of it's because it's in a parking spot. So as long as they're paying for the parking spot, that was one of the concerns we had. And then also I think the way the peddler's license was written kind of does not include what a food truck is. But I'd want to double check that before I, said that was absolute truth.
Yeah.
Comment.
Maybe wants to make a comment.
Oh, let me just clarify this for 1 second, Wendy. Other licenses, peddlers licenses do include food trucks, more updated ones. So we have other ones that we can go look at in other cities and towns. So that's one of the reasons why I want to update this is a lot of old things. So I agree with you, Eric.
Wendy, do you have a comment?
Thank you for remembering that I had contributed a draft last year. Part of my interest in coming was to see what had happened to that. And one of the things that I found really interesting is food trucks were not in the peddlers, what do you call it? Thank you. Ordinance. It's because they didn't exist when that peddlers ordinance was written. But more importantly, it also is not there because it involves health. Food health preparation and all that stuff. And so the homework that I did to prepare that draft included the state guidelines for what a food truck is and how it should be managed. So hopefully it gives you a head start in why, you can incorporate it in one ordinance, but it is a separate issue. Yeah. So
I might get to it sooner or later.
So then our plan is for the next meeting, so during reorg to start having this conversation. And then this gets added to the April agenda and making sure that we talk to gym businesses and letting people know that they should let us know that we're having the discussion.
Yes.
Or that y'all are having the discussion.
Just to get input.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, anything else on this before we move on? Next is village meeting prep. Village meeting next Tuesday. Very exciting. Vote Australian ballot 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for trustees. And then everything else will happen 7:30 in this room. We will have village meeting to vote on all the things that are in this lovely book. There's lots of positions that we need to vote on. And then after that meeting will be the reorg meeting, which will bring in 2 new trustees, and then there will be a reorganization of chair and vice chair. So be there. So village prep, do we want to do food?
Yeah, I like that we did last year. That was nice.
It would be nice, we started that about 6:30 last year, didn't we?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And we should get that out on a listserv and encourage village residents to come and meet and talk with their neighbors before we formally start the meeting at 7:30. And it gives them time to come and vote and then come upstairs and enjoy some refreshments and company.
Love it.
We have to decide on who's bringing what food.
I will bring cookies.
I
was going to make my cookies.
I also think that can probably be a discussion outside of the meeting.
Yes.
Outside of an open meeting.
What? It's a public discussion. People have very strong feelings about cookies. Irish cookies, obviously, everything will be Irish.
There you go.
That's the plan. For village meeting, Eric, I have a question. We have all of these positions that we need to have people vote on. Has there been advertisements that have gone out? Some of it is during the reorg, some of it is during village meeting.
There honestly, there has not been. We've reached out to people who are been appointed in the past and asked if they want to be reappointed. That's all we've done so far.
Okay, can someone
Yeah.
say these are the positions that will be voted on at village meeting? These are the positions that will be appointed at reorg. And I think unlike what we've done in previous years, people need to show up or at least be on Zoom and say, yes, I would like to be the whatever commissioner. Because a lot of times we just go, I heard that Bob wants to do this, and that's not very nice to Bob, so.
Correct. So what we have learned too is that the way it should go is the board selects who they want to appoint and they reach out to them, and that person can turn it down by not responding to the outreach as well. So if you like Bob and you appoint Bob to, a dog pound or whatever, Bob can turn that down. So it's also the approach. Your appointment is not the final say, it's their acceptance of the appointment.
But people can nominate themselves.
Yes.
So if Sally says, I want to be the dog catcher, then she can say, hey, Eric, put my name down to be the dog catcher. And then we have to consider that person. Okay. Because maybe I don't know who a good dog catcher is. Maybe Sally's the best. I don't know.
They'll kill it again for another year, so we should be good.
Okay, well, good. Okay, anything else about this meeting? Okay. Next item on the agenda is conversation about the snow removal process in the village. Eric, when it snows, what happens?
So we're gonna have Greg Bolton come back in November of next year to kind of give us a refresher and walk through the whole process. But to kind of just give a brief overview of how it all works. The crew goes out, they plow, they sand, they salt, etc. Additionally, they usually have 24 hours off from the end of plowing before they come back and do any other work. To get the work to do the snow removal in the village, we're talking about the parking meter district and the school. They first have to take all the chains off the vehicles, including the chains off the grader and all the trucks. That takes roughly 3 hours to take them on or put them back on.
They have the chains on to do some roads.
When they're plowing, they have the chain.
Plowing, they have chains on it.
And
And
they
so-
have the chains off to get the vehicles ready to come in the village and do snow removal.
Okay,
So we're talking snow removal when they come in at night and they remove the snow from the sidewalks, the berms and stuff like that. And then they put sideboards on all the trucks to get ready. They bring out the loader and skid steer at about midnight. So they usually report into the town garage at 11 p.m. By 1 a.m., the grader and the 1-ton are out there as well. By 2 a.m., all the trucks are out there. They usually go from 12 midnight to about 7 in the morning. It takes about 10 people. So they have the whole crew, the village crew, and they usually tap into the wastewater crew as well. So it's all hands on deck, a whole overnight shift. After they finish the village, they go in and they do the courthouse. Not anymore next year. The Welcome Center, Mechanic Street, with 2 trucks and a loader as well. So you're looking at the issue we have is, they could be out plowing for 12, 14 hours straight. Then we try to give them 24 hours rest because they have to come in the following night and work from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. and then usually keep working or go home for a small rest and get back to work. So that's kind of the process it takes. That's why sometimes we're not out there immediately afterwards because they might have been plowing for a long period of time. Might be another storm coming and we're like, why waste all the work, energy, and overtime when we have to out here another day? So that's kind of the standard approach we've taken 3 years I've been here, talking to some of our crew who have almost 100 years of experience working. That's just the way they said it's been done in the past. With all that said, myself, Greg Fulton, understand the importance of safe sidewalks and safe schools and all that stuff. So we're happy to have a larger conversation of what we can do. It is just to some degree for us an employee safety and morale issue of how much can you tap into them? How much can you force them out there? Especially in Vermont weather when just because it says it's not going to snow in 3 days doesn't mean we're not going to get a snowstorm in 3 days. So I know it's kind of late in the year. Hopefully this weekend won't be anything, but that's kind of the process that happens each time we have to transition from plowing to snow removal. And then inverse, once that's done, if another storm's coming, sideboards come off, chain comes back on the trucks, and they go out whenever they need to. And I said, I think Gray will be happy to come back October, November of this coming year, winter, and kind of walk through this again and take more feedback if you want. But Jeffrey, if you want to talk to him individually, I'm happy to coordinate that meeting as well if you want to get more information.
Yeah, I know it's a tough process. It always has been. And it used to snow, except for this year, it used to snow more than it has in recent years. And going back my over half a century here, it was generally done with only very few exceptions or within 48 hours of the end of a snowfall. And I'd like to see that continue. I know we know it's tough, but I've also saw this year, I actually personally saw a woman fall trying to get over a berm and slip. And luckily she wasn't injured. She was just upset and so forth. And so it's important that be remembered.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. Be like air hockey.
They're almost like they should be.
Okay, so that's snow removal. Bylaw update?
Yes, me again.
Yes.
So the planning commission, thank you, is working through their final drafts. They're hoping to, in their April meeting, have the updated bylaws completed. They then have their April meeting. They then have to warn a public meeting and vote on it. Then it will come to the trustees. You'll also have to have a public hearing, and then if you want, vote on their changes or send it back to them to make amendments. So you're probably looking at having the village bylaws in front of you, say mid-May at the earliest, but potentially early June.
Are there people that are
The corrections on the third page here. Okay, it's going down under police vehicle camera and body camera contract. The Burn Foundation, it's not BURN,
It is not.
BYRNE.
BOURNE.
No, it's BYRNE.
It's BYRNE.
Okay.
Okay, and then further down, there's someone named McElroy, under Villages Position Act 250 process. That name is misspelled in the very first sentence. It's misspelled again in the very next sentence. Both are different misspellings. Oh, no, maybe.
And it's
no,
a
they're both.
capital I, in case anyone cares.
Yeah, so two misspellings there. So those are three corrections there, and those are the ones I have for those minutes.
Yep.